Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Wisconsin.
From St. Louis, Missouri. Tonight, the Brewers and the Cardinals. Second game of this three-game series, and it is Jackie Robinson Day all across Major League Baseball. Hi, everybody. We welcome you. Great to have you with us tonight. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. We'll hear from Craig Kashawn in just a moment. And it's always great to be at the ballpark. But, Rock, this is one of those special days. You're proud to be associated with a game that had such a great moment in history in Jackie Robinson Day.
Yeah, a great way to honor a man who not only changed sports forever in our country, but certainly American society and American history, a true hero, I could say, who not only was a great athlete, but a great man who was challenged and faced unthinkable obstacles and won for us all. And everybody on that field today is going to be wearing number 42 in recognition of a great man.
That's a great day to enjoy this day and remember Jackie Robinson and all that he did. Now, baseball tonight, Willie Peralta gets the ball against Lance Lynn. These two pitchers, very similar in style, very good numbers against the other team. Let's get into Willie Peralta a little bit in his last start.
Yeah, he was outstanding. I mean, throwing all of his pitches for strikes, and Willie gave up a couple of runs. He gave up a home run in his last inning of work, but certainly picked up right where he left off a year ago. He certainly turned the corner as one of the better right-handers in all the National League, if not all of baseball. I mean, he's got the stuff to be an ace. He got some good defense behind him. He's always had good success, or at least last year against the Cardinals, 3-1 in 5 starts. Earned run average for Willie against the Cardinals just a little bit over 2, and the Brewers are hoping that continues tonight.
Now that covers his last 5 starts. Both of these pitchers, hard-throwing right-handers. This should be some fun tonight. We're looking forward to it. Brewers trying to make it back-to-back wins, inching our way towards first pitch. We'll check in on Lance Lynn with our pitcher back in the studio, Jerry Augustine. He's with Jeff when we continue.
brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Welcome back to St. Louis, Jackie Robinson Day, and this day, 1947, 68 years ago, Jackie Robinson crossed that color barrier line in Major League Baseball. Number 42 universally retired in 1997, and today every player on every team wears number 42. Welcome back to our coverage of Brewers baseball against the Cardinals here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. I thought earlier today Major League Baseball tweeted out 4 very important words that help encompass what Jackie Robinson meant to baseball and still means to this day. Brave, we certainly know he was brave. Resilient, very resilient to go through all the things that he did. The strength that he has helped provide, and thankful. A lot of people are very, very thankful and appreciative for everything that Jackie Robinson had to go through to pave the way in not only baseball but pro sports as well. These Brewers are also very appreciative.
The way he kept going and made it through, just a testimony in his life, and then he gave back. You know, that's what everybody wants to do. You know, no matter what color, what race, or whatever, that's what everybody wants. It's just to give back and let everybody have an opportunity that they didn't have, you know?
Yeah, it's endless. The amount of work he put in and what he had to go through is just, it gives you, it sends chills down your body. But, you know, I'm just forever grateful for something like that. And for us as a society to come together and just accept one another is a beautiful thing too. So it speaks a lot about America and how far we've come.
I got a good history lesson while I was with the Dodgers and coming up through, and that was, you know, I think really important to me and to all the players to listen to that and what they had to go through. And you know, when you watch the movie 42 and you watch what happens, I mean, they endured a lot, and it you know, it's hard today to think that stuff really happened, but hearing it from Campy and all those guys, it was really tough.
So everyone unites as one here. We're number 42 tonight. A lot of similarities on the mound. Willie Peralta and Lance Lynn ready to battle. Cardinals Brewers coming up next.
Some of the sights and sounds from a big win on Monday night, the Cardinals home opener. Now the Brewers try to make it 2 in a row on Jackie Robinson Day here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Let's check the Brewers lineup. You saw Carlos Gomez. He'll hit leadoff once again. Had a big RBI on Monday with a double. It'll be followed by Lucroy, then Braun. Middle of the order is Adam Lind, Aramis Ramirez, and Gerardo Parra gets to start in left field tonight. And then Segura, Jeanette, and Peralta rounded out the Potawatomi Brewers lineup that will face big right-hander Lance Lynn.
And Lance Lynn has been tough on the Brewers in his career, 5-2 with a .226 earned run average, 14 games, 10 of them starts. And lost his first time out against the Cubs, but he threw the baseball pretty well.
Only gave up 2 hits in that game. It was actually an errant throw that he had that cost him in that game. A 2-0 Cubs win. Lynn has good numbers against Milwaukee. Willie Peralta with very good numbers recently against St. Louis. This should be a fun matchup tonight on a beautiful night for baseball. Some overcast skies up above. 64 degrees is our game time temperature. We got another ball game tomorrow, which will be a day game to wrap up this series. Carlos Gomez takes a mighty hack. Count evens at 2-2 on Carlos. Gomez came out for a little early batting practice today. All business after an off day yesterday. And he's off to a good start at the plate. Gomez had 2 hits in the opener on Monday. And Gomez with a home run and 6 RBIs through the first 7 games of the year. The Brewers are 2-5. St. Louis coming in at 3-3. And Gomez chases a high fastball. Down he goes.
And Lance Lynn, although he's not overpowering, I mean, he's going to get it up there at about 93, 94. He can get it by you, but he will strike a lot of batters out. And when it doesn't strike him out, he's looking for some good defense. Cardinals did not play very well defensively on Monday. If you look at the Menards defense, Holiday, Jay, and Hayward in the outfield. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Adams from third to first. And Yadier Molina, a great defensive catcher behind home plate.
Same starting position players here for game 2 of this series as we saw game 1. It was Colton Wong who committed a couple of errors in that game as Jonathan Lucroy takes a strike. Now, Wong and Segura had the trouble, each with 2 errors in that game on Monday. Kind of an ugly duckling of a game, but the Brewers were very pleased to get away with that one with a victory and beat Adam Wainwright Monday, which is significant.
Yeah, that doesn't happen all that often. I mean, the Brewers hung right in there against Wainwright. Matt Garza scuffled a little bit with his command, but was able to keep the Cardinals off the board.
And Garza picked up the win on Monday. Just the second win of the season. The Brewers have victories against the Pirates and the Cardinals. This is in the middle of a long stretch against the Central Division. This is game 5 of a 22 consecutive game run against the division. Brewers are headed to Pittsburgh after tomorrow's game. They'll start a weekend series against the Pirates. Important division games in the month of April. As Lucroy takes one off the plate. Count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, Lance Lynn, one of the best April pitchers in all of baseball. He's got 12 April victories in the last 3 years. Always gets off to a good start.
Count goes full on Lucroy, who is struggling to start the season. He's hoping to get that bat turned around. He has been pleased with his at-bats recently. It's not showing up with a whole lot of hits. He did have a hit on Monday, but he likes the way he's seeing the ball right now, and that was a pretty good cut right there as he fouls it back.
Yeah, just somewhat like he did a couple of years ago when he got off to a slow start, drifting at the baseball, pulling it a little bit too much. Well, Luke will check himself. He'll get out of that quickly. Has always been a very good opposite field hitter. He's got to get back to that.
Now, Lucroy is one of those hitters that is fairly consistent throughout a season. He rarely goes into long slumps. Doesn't necessarily have those huge hot streaks. But one of his longer slumps of his career came 2 years ago, and he started the season very poorly, hitting around 200 after the first 3 weeks of the season. There's a shot right back up the middle, and that's more like it from Lucroy.
Yeah, that's what he does. Doesn't try to pull the baseball. And one of the reasons why he doesn't go into long, extended slump, he doesn't strike out much. I mean, he puts the ball in play. He uses the opposite field. It's a 3-2 pitch from Lance Lynn, a fastball that leaked over the heart of the plate, and he bangs it into center field.
Now Lucroy is a 300 hitter in his mind every year in the big leagues. Did that last year. And he is aboard for Ryan Braun. As you see, every player wearing number 42 here tonight to honor the great Jackie Robinson. Each and every year celebrating Jackie Robinson Day in Major League Baseball. It's one of the great days of the Major League Baseball calendar. And all of the ballparks in Major League Baseball have that number retired. That was back in '97 when they retired the number 42 in all the ballparks. And this is now year 8 where all of the players wearing number 42. At one time there would be one designated player to wear 42, right. But they've gone to all players and coaches, even the umpires who actually have numbers. You might not have known that, but all the umpires wearing 42 as well.
Yeah, great tribute. You know, players these days have been accused of not understanding the history of the game and not really knowing a lot of the guys that have been here before them, but everyone to a man knows who Jackie Robinson is.
Well, I think the idea behind it is appropriate because you do it every year. It's Jackie Robinson Day, and you know the ideal moment is for that young child, that 5-6-year-old kid, to ask mom or dad or guardian or whoever, who's Jackie Robinson?
Right. Yeah.
And then you get to tell the story all over again, and that's the point. That's why baseball has done it. It's a great thing. Braun, a foul tip into the mid of Molina. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now you're going to see a lot of fastballs from Lance Lynn. He'll throw the fastball. He's got a cutter, a slider. A lot of hard stuff. He has got a major league record of 49-29. He's always been able to win.
And Braun lines it right to third. Carpenter's throw to first. He is late. Tough break for Braun. Hit it right on the nose with 2 strikes, but a line drive out.
Man, not much you can do about this. Had good extension on it, and right at Carpenter. Didn't have to move hardly. But good base running by Lucroy to get back. Take one more step, and he's going to get doubled off, but able to get back.
So 2 outs with Lucroy at first. And here comes Adam Lind. Lynn against Lind. Adam Lind has faced Lance Lynn 3 times. He's 0 for 3. Did have a walk. 4 plate appearances in all. Has a walk and a strikeout against this big right-hander. That would have been interleague play while Lind was with the Blue Jays.
They get off to such a good start that Ron Renicky put him in the lead in the cleanup spot. After Aramis Ramirez went in and said, hey, look, Linda's swinging the bat well. Drop me a little bit. This way you can split those right-handers. You can split Braun and Ramirez. Get a left-hander in between the 2 of them.
Adam did have a hit in the opener on Monday. He's hit and been on base in all 7 games that he has played for the Brewers. He's played in every game so far. Lind with a homer and 5 runs batted in. He hit the first home run of the season back in Milwaukee. And that one is in the air, left center field. Little bit of carry, big outfield though. And on a cool night, it goes to die in the glove of John Jay. We're off and running here. Scoreless inning for Lind. Now it's Willie Peralta's turn. in the sea of 42s in there. There's manager Mike Matheny, former Brewer catcher. Had a good talk with Matheny today. He's a good man, and he has had a lot of success here in St. Louis. 3 years as the skipper, 3 years in the postseason. Matheny's Potawatomi batting order: Matt Carpenter, Jason Hayward, Matt Holliday at the top, Matt Adams, Johnny Peralta, John Jay in the middle of the order. Between all the Matts and the Johns, you have Yadier Molina, Colton Wong, and Lance Lynn rounding it out.
And Willie Peralta making start number 2. He threw well against the Rockies, but got a no decision. 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. Very impressive. No walks, only 2 strikeouts. He was able to stick around because he was able to manage that pitch count. Last year, 3-1 in 5 starts against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Now, both of these pitchers tonight pitched well in their first game of the season. Neither one factored in the win column, however. Peralta goes to work against Matt Carpenter. First pitch is in there for a strike. Very talented leadoff hitter, one of the premier leadoff hitters in the game today, Matt Carpenter. Former hits leader in the National League a couple of seasons ago. He had 2 hits in the opener on Monday. He was 2 for 5, but every at-bat he found the barrel of the bat. He hit the ball hard all 5 times up. Just 2 hits to show for it, though. And he hits that one hard, right back up the middle, a base hit.
Yeah, the guy can hit a little bit. He really waits back nicely and uses those hands. He throws those hands at the bat, at the baseball. No batting gloves for Carpenter. And let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. A couple of errors in the opener here in St. Louis on Monday. Gerardo Parra gets a start. His 3rd start this year. His first in left field. He made a couple of starts for Braun out and right. Back in the home stand. And everybody else the same as it has been just about all season.
Chris Davis and Gerardo Parra's numbers against Lance Lynn. The reason why Parra's in there, Parra has very good numbers. Davis does not. Jason Hayward, the newest Cardinal. Hayward coming to St. Louis in the Shelby Miller trade, sending Shelby Miller to the Atlanta Braves. That was a bit of a blockbuster trade this offseason. Hayward will be a free agent at season's end. He breaks his bat. That's a base hit. Carpenter thinking about third. He's on his way. Snap throw. And everybody's safe. Carpenter advances. Hayward right behind him. And the Cardinals are threatening here in the first inning.
Well, a big, tall, left-handed hitter. He stands off the plate, but able to reach that outside corner very well. Check this out. That's not even a strike, and Hayward able to reach out and just tuck it inside that third baseline. And both runners able to advance. You get Carpenter to third, and on the throw, Hayward into second base.
Yeah, Parra might have been better served there, either to make no throw to third or have the throw come into second base, because Hayward was stalking him to see where he was going to throw the baseball.
Yeah, that and the fact that Aramis Ramirez is not ready for the throw to third.
So it's second and third. Willie Peralta in some trouble here to start it. And here is Matt Holliday, who lines one to right. Boy, that did not take long at all. They're going to send Hayward. The throw comes in. 2 hops in. Hayward scores. Throw was off the mark. And St. Louis on 3 straight hits scored 2 runs early against Peralta and the Brewers.
Not messing around, attacking early. Hayward reaching out, punching one down the left field line, and Holliday taking one to the opposite field. Cardinals offense has not been clicking too well so far this year. That one right down the middle. And Holliday hits it hard into right. And Ryan Braun hitting the cutoff man. That's why Holliday stays at first.
If the throw's on line, the Brewers have a chance at an out. It's a long throw from out there. Hayward scores. 6 pitches for Peralta. He's given up 3 hits and 2 runs already. And here's Matt Adams. Cardinals had a tough time delivering runs on Monday. Had just 2 hits and 13 at-bats with runners in scoring position. It's been a theme for them to start the year. They're hitting just .220 with runners in scoring position. But in their first opportunity today, they deliver. Matt Holliday with 2 RBIs, gives him 4 for the season.
Yeah, Cardinals left 12 runners stranded on Monday. They had a lot of opportunities.
Adams in the air, center field, Gomez for the first out for Willie Peralta. Well, the field looks fantastic. They've got the artwork in the outfield. I don't know how they do it, but it's great to have the arch out there and center field. Players are raving about the condition of this playing surface and how tight the grass is. It's been warm, unseasonably warm for this time of year.
That'll help.
Yeah, it looks great.
Get the grass looking green. Every major league ballpark looking good these days. It's amazing how they get these fields ready so quickly after the winter.
Here's Johnny Peralta with 1 away. Talented Cardinal shortstop who's off to a fast start at the plate. And he hits that one hard right at Segura. Fire to first. Oh, the throw gets by Lind.
Another error for Segura.
Man, oh man, this was a problem. On Monday, Segura had 2 throwing errors and 3 bad throws. And I'm not sure what happened on this one. Lind just couldn't get around Matt Holliday on a short hot throw.
Yeah, the throw, if it's in the air, I think Lind is going to be okay. But it's a little bit off the mark. Holliday in the way a little bit, and that'll be another error on Segura, I would assume. The throw is low, not a very good throw at all. But the footwork for Adam Lind not all that great either.
You could see what Lind was trying to do to catch it before it hit the ground, but he got tied up with the massive Matt Holliday. And Segura's going to have to wear another error. Boy, he's going to have to clean that up quickly.
Yeah.
Can't have your shortstop making poor throws like that.
After a while, it starts to get into your head. And you figure that after Monday, you have the day off, take some infield before the game, and what do you know? The first throw he makes ends up being an error.
Ron Renicky said he spoke to Segura. He feels like it's purely a footwork issue. Also being ready with his upper body, slumping the shoulders, knowing he's got a little time as John Jay swings and misses. And, you know, Renicky was pretty specific about what he saw from Segura. He says Ramos Ramirez does the same thing when he drops his shoulders, just kind of shrugs a little to wind it up a little bit. That's when the bad throws come. He wants him to stay intense with his upper body ready to throw in that posture.
You just can't take for granted that you're going to make a good accurate throw all the time. It takes work.
Slow roller out to Jeanette, and that will retire the side. A very eventful inning for Willie Peralta. The Cardinals scored twice on 3 hits, but just 12 pitches in the inning. In our coverage tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And it's a big night here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. We have the Brewers and Cardinals on this channel. And if you're looking for the Milwaukee Bucks and Celtics tonight, two playoff-bound teams, you can go over to the Fox Sports alternate channel. And this is where you can find the Fox Sports alternate channel. For a complete listing, go to foxsportswisconsin.com. Bucks and Celtics know they'll be headed to the postseason, know their positions. One last game of the NBA regular season tonight. We're just getting started here in Major League Baseball. Game number 8 of the season is Aramis Ramirez out to Colton Wong for the first out. So here comes Gerardo Parra. And we mentioned the splits for Parra against Lance Lynn. The reason he's in the lineup, he's in our DraftKings player to watch. You can play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Just enter promo code CREW.
Yeah, it's all about a matchup thing for Gerardo Parra. You can see his numbers. Chris Davis only 1 for 12 against Lance Lynn, and that's why you see Gerardo in there. It's his 3rd start this year.
Parra made 2 starts in right field for Ryan Braun. Games 2 and 3 of the season when Braun was out with the side strain, his injured right side. Parra was in the game yesterday for defensive purposes as well. That's been a typical move by Roenicke to get Parra in defensively. No balls, 2 strikes quickly on Parra. And he rips that one to right, a base hit.
Numbers don't lie, do they?
Thinking about 2, he's on his way. Hayward's got a great arm. The throw comes in, out. No, safe.
Yep.
Ball popped out of the glove of Peralta.
They called him out. He was thinking about calling him out, then called him safe. Could very well go down as an error on Johnny Peralta. Now, once an umpire starts ringing you up and then you drop the baseball, typically an error can be charged. But something about Lance Lynn and Gerardo Parra. He sees the baseball well and rips that one down the line. And you can't hesitate with Jason Hayward out there in right field. He's got a very strong, accurate arm.
Yeah, that could easily go as an error on Peralta. That was a bang-bang play at second base,
It
however.
looked safe anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we'll see how they score it. That'll be a 2-base hit for Parra. They just announced it. So Gerardo at second, and the move pays off early for Roenicke to play the Parra card against Lynn. Let's see if Segura can pick him up. Now, every shortstop worth his salt thinks a lot about his defense, and certainly Gene Segura is thinking about his defense at this point. He's committed 4 errors already. He's had 3 errors in this series in the last 2 games. Has more errors than 13 teams in the major leagues right now. Let's hope he can separate the 2.
And that's really troublesome to a player because, as a shortstop, you figure your offense is going to come and go, but you always have that strong defense you can fall back on to help the ball club.
Segura has been swinging the bat well to start the year. That's back up the middle. Peralta ranges over, never going to get Segura. That'll be an infield hit. And the Brewers get something cooking here with 1 away in the second.
Been a lot of fastballs in this game between, Peralta and Lance Lynn. And Lynn throws predominantly fastballs. Ordinarily a good location, but he's been getting a lot of the plate with some of these. That one on the inside part of the plate, but Segura fighting it off. And Peralta not nearly enough on the arm to be able to get him at first base.
Well, Segura has 8 hits now in the first 8 games played. And he makes it first and third for Milwaukee with Scooter Gennett coming up. Now here's a key at bat early. Got the pitcher due up next in Peralta. Gennett trying to cash one in as he takes a strike. Lynn burns the edge. Scooter just 3 for 19, but his hits have come lately. Had a hit and a pinch hit at bat in the final game of that series against Pittsburgh late in that game. And then Jeanette in the opener on Monday had a hit and an RBI.
Just got to get back to what he does well. Same with Lucroy. Take it up the middle into the opposite field. That's what he does best. Gets the count in his favor. He gets one to pull. That's when he can drive the baseball. Right now, you got to be in defense mode right now. Put it in play.
One man out, first and third here, and Jeanette slaps it foul. Jeanette drove in a run yesterday on a ground out. Punched one over to shortstop with Adam Wainwright on the mound. Need something more than that here. Trying to get the ball in the air to the outfield at least. Cardinals have a great thrower in right field, as we've seen in Hayward. Average arm in center, below average in left. Ooh, that one didn't miss by much. 1-2 the count.
Tough pitch to take, right? Especially when you've got the pitcher on deck. Well, that didn't miss by much.
Fox Trex had it just off the plate. Home plate umpire tonight is James Hoy. Very good umpire. James Hoy, John Hirschbeck, John Tumpane, and Bill Welkley, the crew tonight. Hirschbeck is the crew chief. He's over at first base. Well, Segura is a base stealer. You wonder if they take a shot here. Stays put. Jeanette takes a called strike three. Down he goes.
Yeah, can't do that. You can't be standing up there taking pitches with the pitcher on deck. If anything, you got to expand that strike zone. Slider, backdoored it right on the edge. Too close to take with 2 strikes.
Yeah, Molina makes sure it stays in there. So 2 away, and here is Peralta now. Had a couple of at-bats in his first game against Colorado, was 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. Has not been much of a threat at the plate. Neither one of these pitchers hit much. Peralta last year had 3 hits in 57 at-bats. Peralta probably has the largest discrepancy between batting practice talent versus lack of success in a game. He's a great hitter at 4 o'clock.
Well, everybody can hit when you know it's coming. And it's coach's speed.
Trying to run into one here. The 1-1 pitch, and Lynn ties him up. Willie was an outfielder when he first signed. Signed as a 16-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Signed as an outfielder. Quickly moved him to the mound a couple of years after that. Actually, a year after that. Here's a 1-2. Had a good swing there. Fouls it back. If Willie ever does center one up, he'll hit it a mile.
Takes a nice hack, doesn't he?
He's got a nice big swing.
Doesn't get cheated. You got to like that.
That's the Bill Schroeder.
Nothing tentative about this swing.
And down he goes. So Lynn strikes out Jeanette and Peralta to get out of the inning. And the Brewers strand 2, get a couple of hits, but come up empty in the second.
Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Cards a 2-0 lead as they go to bat in the bottom of the second inning. And Gene Segura back out on defense at shortstop, committed his third error of the series back in the first inning. Ron Renneke told the story before the game about how he talked to Segura after game one of the series on Monday about those 2 errors that he made, and then the big play that he did indeed make in the 8th inning, robbing Matt Carpenter. He said if he doesn't make that play, who knows how that game turns out. He wanted to stress to Segura, errors aren't going to crush you. Monday was a prime example. Tonight now, just got to clean it up.
Well, and again, you just can't think about it. Sometimes that stuff gets into your head and you lose your aggressiveness and you're kind of tentative with your throws. That very well might have been the case for Segura in the first inning.
He did make the last out as well, had a throw to first in that win on Monday. Now we'll have to keep an eye on Segura as we work through this series in St. Louis. Yadier Molina, the slimmed down version of the all-star catcher at the plate to start the second inning. Both runs coming in on a Matt Holliday 2 RBI single. Cardinals came out with the ambush mentality on Willie Peralta.
Yeah, 2 guys in the Cardinals lineup that had good success against Peralta, Carpenter, and Holliday. Both getting it done.
That's a base hit. So swinging early in the count, thinking opposite field, and that's been a formula that has worked so far. The Cardinals have 4 hits already.
Yeah, Molina does that as well as anybody, taking any pitch to the opposite field. He does it. He can drive it in that direction as well. That's a pretty good pitch for Peralta. Not even a strike. I think that was off the plate, but Molina waits back, and no chance for Adam Lynn.
Leadoff single for St. Louis. That'll bring up Colton Wong, young second baseman who had his defensive problems on Monday with a couple of errors. Wong is the 8th hitter in the lineup. Peralta has not had more than 3 pitches to any hitter so far. 12 pitch first inning. And yet the Cardinals had 3 hits and 2 runs in. So there has been a game plan of early attack. And Wong obliges as well.
Off-speed pitch and Wong out in front. Oh, he talked about the success that Peralta had last year against the Cardinals. Earned run average, what was it, 218 and a 3-1 record. I mean, Willie's best pitch arguably is that power slider along with the sinker. I think the Cardinals are going up there attacking fastballs when they get them.
Wong's a tough guy to double up if he hits one on the ground. He runs well. That's in the air. Over is Parra toward the line. Molina goes halfway, and there is out number 1.
Well, due to popular demand, the Brewers have opened up new inventory and extended their Milwaukee Day sale through midnight tonight. Through this special offer, you can get tickets to the Brewers' upcoming series against the Reds for just $4.14. To access this special deal, visit brewers.com/Milwaukee Day and enter the code MKE414.
Carried it over to 415 today. That's all right.
Tax day.
Yes, it is.
Did you get that big return back yet?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You did file, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago. I'm an early guy.
You're like every other year, aren't you?
I'm a before spring training. Yeah, I'm on the Willie Nelson plan. No, that's not true, Mr. IRS. I file early. Get it all in. Bob Watson takes care of it all. Lynn drops a bunt down. Peralta goes to second, and they get the out at second base. That was risky.
Well, that's knowing who's running is what that is. I mean, that's a good play by Willie. Risky, yes. Absolutely risky. I think Mike Matheny might want to have another look at this one. Pretty good bunt by Lance Lynn, bunting a little bit too hard, but Willie going after the out at second. He gets the out. That's a good call at second. And a nice job out there on the receiving end by Gene Segura, acting like a first baseman and getting out of the way of Yadier Molina.
Yeah, Molina was coming in hot. So no review requested by Matheny. We actually have not had a replay review yet this year.
Right.
This is game 8.
I had a close one back at home, but Ron Renneke did not ask for a review.
Yeah, the one with Lind and his foot at first, right?
Right.
So 2 outs. Lind replaces Molina as the base runner at first, reaching on a fielder's choice. Back to the top of the order in Matt Carpenter. Good work by Luke Croy to keep Lance Lynn at first, despite that breaking ball. Cardinals, they'll do this to you as well. They'll come out. I've seen it before. They'll attack early first time through the batting order, and then sometimes maybe the second time through or the third time through they'll get very patient. They'll start to work counts in their favor. It's hard to follow the Cardinal offensive way, and they're very good about that.
And sometimes vice versa. It'll be patient early, and then late in the game when it comes to crunch time, they'll be ambushing early in the count.
One advantage that Peralta has, he has such great stuff and overpowering stuff that he can pretty much stay on challenge control throughout. Cardinals got 2 off of him in the first on a Matt Holliday 2 RBI single. Really trying to get this one to the third as Carpenter sends one high in the air to left, easy for Parra, and that will retire the side. So Willie working around a leadoff single, puts up a 0 in the second, 2 in the books at Busch. Half of the third inning on Jackie Robinson Day all across Major League Baseball with the specialized bases and our T-Mobile game changer. Who else? Jackie Robinson, not just a game changer, a sport changer and a society changer. 1947 Rookie of the Year, broke the color barrier on this date in 1947. MVP 2 years later. 62, he was voted into the Hall of Fame, and since 97, the number 42 has been retired in every Major League Baseball stadium.
You've seen 42, the movie, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a great movie.
That gives you a good sense of what he had to endure.
Well, proud to be associated with it today. All the players wearing number 42. We're ready to work here in the third as Carlos Gomez leads off, hits one sharply to center, and Jay, frozen a bit by the line drive, finally recovers to run it down.
Yeah, advantage of playing deep. I mean, most outfields will play deep against the Brewers. Built for home runs. They try and take away the slugging percentage. You can see how deep he's playing. He freezes, but able to get back and make the catch.
One pitch, one out for Lance Lynn. Luke Croy taking his time, if for nothing else, to give his pitcher Peralta a little extra rest.
Seems like Lynn's velocity down a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, 89 to 91.
I remember when he came up in 11, he used out of that Cardinal bullpen. He was blowing 97, 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, last couple of years, in the mid-90s, low to mid-90s, 93 to 94.5, but really getting it over 91 tonight.
Lynn, the former first rounder out of Ole Miss. Cardinals drafted him in 08. And then he was in the big leagues 3 years after that in 11. First full season in the big leagues was 2012. And those numbers in 2012, 18-7, 3.78 ERA, got him to the All-Star game, or at least his first half numbers.
You don't hear a whole lot about Lance Lynn. I mean, he's been a winner throughout his career, and a lot of great pitchers in baseball, but probably the best pitcher you never heard of.
He is on the ideal track for a drafted and developed pitcher to the major leagues. This is his age 28 season. He'll turn 28 May 12th. Derek Lilliquist is pitching coach. And Lynn has been a part of all this postseason success for the Cardinals. Lucroy draws the walk.
Yeah, he's starting to see the ball better. A little bit more patient at the plate. It's only a matter of time for Lucroy.
So a 5-pitch at bat against Lucroy ends up in a walk. And that'll bring up Ryan Braun. They say they don't boo in St. Louis, but they certainly do for Ryan Braun. That's a pretty consistent theme.
Not too bad, though. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be. Is it?
It's a polite boo.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I think so. It's all about volume, intensity.
They feel obligated, you mean? They really don't have their heart in it?
We should boo like everybody else, but we're going to do it a little lighter. I don't think their heart's quite in it.
I'll give you that.
Sea of Red. Second game of the season here at Busch Stadium, version 3. You know who gets the most boos here in St. Louis, right? It's got some old wounds they dig up.
Cincinnati Reds second baseman.
That's it. Brandon Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's when they bring the A game for the boos.
They
here
mean
in St.
it
Louis.
and they enjoy it. Yeah, right.
Braun with a base hit to right. Taking a page out of the Cardinals book and an opposite field single for Ryan Braun. And now the Brewers, with one out, have 2 on, and the muscle coming up.
Yeah, the Brewers have had some pitches they hit here today. I mean, if you take it to the opposite field, Lynn with a little bit of cut on his fastball, sometimes a sink, that one right down the middle, and Brawny didn't try and pull it, and he shot that open hole between first and second.
That's a good sign for Ryan Braun. Let's mark that hit and see if he gets on a run at the plate here over the next few days. Start driving the ball like that to the opposite field. That's usually when a hot streak comes.
Well, you get your confidence, you wait back, you don't jump at the baseball.
Here's Adam Lind with 2 on. Adam flew out to center his first time up. Little lazy fly ball. A man of few words, Adam Lind. Craig had a chance to visit with Adam Lind today. And a swing and a foul tip in and out of the glove of Molina.
He's all business, isn't he, when he gets out on the field? There's not a whole lot of messing around with that guy. Nothing wrong with that.
I enjoyed the interview with Craig Kashan, our Brewers Live pregame show. All kind of insights prior to the game on Brewers Live. Get to hear from the players, and Craig does a great job down there. 1-2, and Lynn fouls it off. Brewers would like to cash in here. 1 away in the third. Had 2 on with 1 out last inning. And Lynn had back-to-back strikeouts, or Lynn had back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the mess. 2-0 St. Louis. A swing and a miss. Lynn got him to chase.
They had him climbing the ladder. See how high he was going to swing, and then swings at one about letter high. Those are tough to get to even at 91 miles an hour. That was actually shoulder high. Not able to get on top of that.
So the Brewers are 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position in this game, and 3 strikeouts. Here's Ramirez, 2 on, 2 out. Misses inside. 2-0 to Aramis.
See that fastball for Lance Lynn, 89, 91 miles an hour. Unless there's something wrong with the speed pitch here at the ballpark. But the Brewers have been getting some pretty good swings. Ramirez swings right through that one on the outer half at 92.
That's one of his better fastballs of the day. Aramis has had great success against the Cardinals throughout his career, but he has struggled against Lance Lynn. He's just 2 for 25 now in his career. Little jam shot into left center field, falling fast. It's down, a base hit. Lucroy saw it all the way. He'll score. Into third is Braun. And an RBI for Ramos Ramirez. 2 out ribby for Ramirez, and the Brewers are on the board.
Yeah, right down on the knuckles, and with 2 outs, the runners were going on contact. Braun able to get to third. There's a big 2-out base hit, the first of the night for Milwaukee. Now 1 for 5, that 2-seamer getting in on the hands of Ramirez, but able to dump it in front of John Jay, who plays very deep in the outfield. Lucroy running on contact, able to score easily.
And Braun right behind him, able to get all the way to third base. So runners at the corners with 2 away for Gerardo Parra. Ramirez with his second RBI of the season. Parra doubled his last time up. That was a 1-out double down the right field line. Gerardo now 9 for 18 career against Lance Lynn. Go figure. A .500 hitter with a couple of homers. Ball and a strike. Missed it. 2-1. Lynn, a big, strong right-hander. Made 4 appearances against Milwaukee last year, and he pitched well. His worst outing was a 5-inning, 3-run affair. Parra, a touch late. Slicing. Carpenter will give it a look, and it'll stay playable to end the inning. Frustrating at bat for Gerardo Parra. Well, Ramirez breaks the seal, drives in his second run of the season. 2-1 Cardinals. The lead over the Brew Crew as we head to the bottom of the third. And our carsoup.com trivia question centers around Jackie Robinson on Jackie Robinson Day. Besides pitcher and catcher, what is the only other position Jackie never played in his career? When he broke into the big leagues, when he broke the color barrier, he was a first baseman.
Yep.
Known more as a second baseman as his career would evolve. But yeah, he played first base when he first came to the big leagues.
Most of the time, he was a second baseman.
Jason Hayward leads off for St. Louis. Hayward had a hit and a run scored in the first. He was on base when Holliday drove in a pair with a single. Ramirez and Holliday with the RBIs thus far. Hayward hits that sharply. Right center field. Gomez will run it down. He came in first, a little banana route, but he was able to fetch it no problem. Hayward is the first out.
Man, no problem for Gomez. He's playing a little bit deeper these days. Hayward gives that one a pretty good ride. You can see Gomez, well, fooled him just a little bit. There is a bit of a breeze here at the ballpark. I would kind of categorize it as swirling.
Swirling winds.
Can't really tell how it's going to affect the baseball.
In other words, we don't really know where the winds are blowing, so they're swirling.
What kind of effect it has on the game.
I think Gomez just wanted to stay on the arch of the arc.
Yeah,
the arc of the arch. Just not to mess that up.
Right.
Holliday to right, Braun on the run, and that is bounced into his glove.
He thinks
Braun thinks he caught it. Holliday still running.
Braun thinks he caught it.
And Braun saying that's a catch. Go take a look. The calling umpire there was John Hirschbeck.
Yeah, not even close.
Well, we're going to have our first review of the year.
This is not even going to take too long. I mean, I don't know how you mess that call up. I mean, the first base umpire, John Hirschbeck, got out there, but that wasn't even close. This shouldn't take too long.
So Renicky went out, and remember the new protocol this year, managers don't have to go out to the umpire. They can make that call from the dugout. They can ask for a review from the dugout. They don't have to go out. I think Renicky just wanted to, maybe he forgot or he just wanted to talk to him himself.
He just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to get another pitch going until he took a look at it. But you can tell by the reaction of Ryan Braun that he caught the baseball. He had no intention of getting up.
That was a heck of a play by Braun. And this should be easy to sort through.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier than that.
No, that is a terrific catch.
I'm surprised that it even has to go to review. Nice catch by Ryan. It should be an out.
I think Braun was surprised as anyone that his infielders were imploring him to get the ball back to the infield as Holliday was running around the base paths. So challenging the no catch call on the field, and this one is overturned quickly, I would imagine. Yep, he's out. 2 outs in the inning.
Here's an example of what replay is all about in baseball. I mean, the bang bang plays. I mean, this can go either way, but the obvious calls, you got to get them right, and that's what the umpires were able to do there.
So that review took 6 seconds from the time they put the headset on. That's good. That's a good number for them. I thought it was longer than that.
It wasn't 6 seconds. A lot longer than that. 1:06.
1:06. I missed the minute part. It's like they're padding the numbers there a little bit.
If it was 6 seconds, I mean, time's really going slow for me.
That's it. Matt Adams takes a ball low. 6 fly ball outs for Willie Peralta in this game. Normally a ground ball pitcher. That's a good tidy review though. 1:06. And it worked to perfection. Those are the kind of calls that's why replay was instituted. Just to make sure that on calls like that.
The obvious ones, right?
Yeah. And nobody feels worse than Hirschbeck, but he's glad to know that they got it right. Lynn makes a nice play, hits Peralta on the run, and that will retire the side. So the Brewers tighten it up defensively there. 3 up, 3 down for Willie Peralta. We head to the 4th, 2-1. Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. St. Louis 2-1 over Milwaukee as we head to the Brewer 4th. Bottom of the order coming up for the Brew Crew. Segura leads off. He'll be followed by Jeanette and then Peralta. Cardinals got 2 in the first before there was an out. Lance Lynn gave up a run last inning on an RBI single from Ramirez, a 2-out RBI single. Lynn sitting on 65 pitches, 42 of those for strikes. He's walked 1, that was Lucroy. And has 4 Ks, and he's got Segura in a hole 1 and 2.
Yeah, slider off the outside corner. Hadn't thrown too many of those pitches. A lot of fastballs for Lance Lynn. That's ordinarily what he likes to do.
Lynn's best start against the Brewers last year was his first start. It was about a year ago today. It was actually on the 14th of April of 2014, and he went 7 innings in Milwaukee, no runs. He struck out 11 in that game. 11 Ks and 3 walks and 7 shutout innings. Next start gave up 3 runs in 5 innings, and then his final 2 starts against the Brewers in September gave up just 1 earned run in each of those outings. He's been a tough pitcher on Milwaukee.
Yeah, 5 and 2, a 226 earned run average in his career. This is his 11th start and 15th appearance against the Brewers.
Two and 2 to Segura. Out to Peralta. Nice easy hop for him. And one shortstop takes care of the other. Now you can vote for your MVP and help us decide which Fox Sports Supports partner will be crowned the winner. The charity with the most votes at the end of the Brewers season will score big with a donation from Hupy and Abraham. Choose from American Heart Association of Wisconsin, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, or Fisher House, Wisconsin. To vote, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/ supports. One away for Scooter Gennett. Still burning after that at bat in the second inning, you would figure, which was a strikeout with runners at the corners and one out.
Yeah, strikeout looking. That even burns you more.
That 8th spot in the batting order is so important, especially in moments like that. With the pitcher due up next. Gennett has pretty good numbers against Lance Lynn in his career. 6 hits and 17 at-bats. Drawn 4 walks. In the air to center field, down, a base hit. Scooter Gennett with a single.
On a 0-2 pitch. So Lance Lynn throwing a few too many strikes. Scooter able to get one off the handle and dump it into right field. In the fastball in the inside corner, a 2-seamer from Lind, and boy, Scooter really catching that one back in the strike zone, but able to dump it into right for a base hit.
A 1-out single. Here is Peralta now, likely to bunt. Cardinals corner infielders crashing in on Willie Peralta. Carpenter's a very good third baseman too. You got to make Adams field this baseball if possible. Brewers have had some traffic against Lance Lynn tonight. Now 7 base runners through the first 4 innings.
Yeah, they left 5 stranded in the first 3 innings. Mentioned on Monday, the Cardinals left 12.
Gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Lynn's only play is first. Little lob for the out. 2 away, but Gennett moves into scoring position for the top of the order in Carlos Gomez. Give Peralta a sacrifice bunt. Now Carlos led the club in homers last year as you check our Powerball home run leaderboard. Had a 23 homer season. He stole 30 bases a year after he stole 40 bases in 2013. The power speed threat that he is. Very few like him in the leadoff spot in a batting order. Swung at the first pitch last time and he lined out to center.
Yeah, very few like him in all of baseball these days. That combination of speed and power. Not too many more energetic than Carlos Gomez, that's for sure.
I was fascinated by your conversation with him today down on the field. Came out, said he was feeling a little chill. He's just chilling out a little bit.
He was feeling a little sore. He said, it's like, I feel a little sore, just kind of getting into the flow of the season. I'm going to take it easy a little bit.
Right.
2 minutes later, he was wrestling with Luis
Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez around the batting cage.
Yeah.
I said, Carlos, what are you doing? You didn't feel good today.
I don't know the exact move. I'm not a wrestling aficionado, but there was a leg lock in there somewhere
around the chest,
and there was some kind of tapping going on that I'm not sure. I don't know if that stops your heart or what, but anyway, he had the Brewers' backup third baseman in quite a predicament.
Yeah, did one of those wrestlers back in the day have the sleeper hold?
That was a sleeper. It reminded me of the Looney Tunes special with the Crusher.
Yeah.
How he had Bugs Bunny. You remember when Bugs Bunny took off the hat and then he tore the ears?
Right.
And then the Crusher thought he had tore his pants.
Right.
And then that set off a whole chain of hilarious events.
Bedlam.
That's exactly what it was. Now Gomez trying to deliver the tying run here in this 4th inning. Full count to Gomez. That's a good approach. He's trying to shoot one to right field.
Everything firm out of the hand of Lance Lynn. I mean, he doesn't have that pitch to keep you honest. I mean, that's how good he is with his 2 pitches, all the winning he's able to do. But the Brewers have given him everything that he can handle, or they can handle, because he's been working hard in this game.
Another payoff to Gomez. Sounded like he broke his bat right to Wong, and that will retire the side. Lynn got in on him. And Lance Lynn puts up another 0. 2-1 St. Louis.
And Casino. Well, Willie Peralta back out on the hill trailing as we go to the bottom of the 4th, a 2-1 game. 17 wins a year ago. He thinks he can get to 20 if he can continue to pitch late through ball games. Now, this is another one of those grinders that he had many of last year. A lot of low-scoring games. Willie Peralta kind of taking it upon himself to make sure he keeps his team in these low-scoring ball games, very much the same way in Game 1 here of the 2015 season for him when he left, when it was scored 2-2. So Willie fighting through right now. Pitch count pretty good at 33, no doubt.
He's in good shape. They jumped on him early, and they do here as Johnny Peralta on the first pitch. That has been a theme tonight for St. Louis. Early swings against Peralta, and it has produced 5 hits now.
And he really hasn't been able to get to that put-away slider because they're swinging so early in the count. Definitely the plan of attack against Peralta to get that first fastball that you like and put a good swing on it.
That'll bring up John Jay with a man on. One thing about the early swings, Peralta, if he gets dialed in a little bit, and he has been since the first inning, you can start to mow through this batting order.
Well, he's only got 34 pitches, and we're here in the 4th inning.
Can be a good news, bad news scenario. A lot of strikes from Peralta. Lance Lynn coming off a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd inning. That's the first of the game for either pitcher. Or rather, Peralta in the 3rd, I should say. And that terrific catch by Ryan Braun. Well, now we'll see if Peralta can start getting some ground ball outs. There goes the runner. Hit and run is on, and it's perfectly executed. Peralta on his way to 3rd. John Jay with a single. And that's one way Matheny tries to generate some offense.
Yeah, not thinking that John Jay is going to pull the baseball. The Brewers had Jeanette covering. John Jay recognizing that, and he hooks it into that big hole over there. Look at the room between first and second. And Jay able to get a base hit.
Just a good piece of hitting there. So first and third, nobody out. And Peralta has got some work to do here. He is at the bottom of the order. So there is a way out of this inning, but he's got to go through Molina and Wong before he gets to the pitcher spot. Last time up, Molina swung at the first pitch and shot one to right field. A base hit. Brewers will concede a run to try to turn a double play. Yeah, Molina swinging away early again. Big inning right here for Willie Peralta. Cardinals have a 2-1 lead. Threatening with 2 on and nobody out. Molina's been a workhorse. Caught a lot, played a lot, but last year had a thumb injury that required surgery. Played in 110 games. The fewest since his first season in the big leagues, when he was just called up and played in 51 games with the Cardinals. It's been impressive what he's been able to do at the bat. He's a .283 career hitter. Had 3 consecutive seasons until last year where he hit over 300.
Yeah, and that's where he's improved the most since.
That's going to get by Ramirez. In to score is Peralta. Molina's on his way to second. The throw comes there, and nobody at first. So it's 3-1 as Molina singles just past a diving Aramis Ramirez.
And very rarely pulls the baseball down that line. I was going to say that his biggest improvement has come from his offense. He was an out early in his career. That was a breaking pitch that stayed up, and Ramirez just not quick enough to get there down the line and a run in.
It's just a tough break. If that's just a few inches to the right, that's probably going to turn into a double play ball, or at least Ramirez has a chance to prevent the run from scoring.
Plus, if anybody else is at the plate, they're at second base, not Molina. He doesn't run very well, so you still have a double play possibility.
Well, Peralta surrendering 3 hits to start this 4th inning. 3-1 Cardinals. Colton Wong takes a ball. These are dangerous spots here. Fortunate that the Cardinals are headed to the bottom of their order. But you certainly don't want to turn the lineup over to Carpenter with men on base. Cardinals with 7 hits already. 3 in a row to start this inning. Two and one. Wong had a big cut. These at-bats have been so short for the Cardinals. Never mind a 3-ball count for Peralta. This is only the second 2-ball count he's been in tonight.
And you're taking on a very patient team at the plate ordinarily. These guys are going to work the count on you.
Peralta could use a strikeout here. Wong's tough to double up with his speed. Buzzed him. 3-1. Wong's not a big guy, but he packs some punch. Had a multi-homer game against Milwaukee last year. He had 12 home runs last season. And a hitter's count. And that one's lofted high in the air to shallow center. Gomez with a great arm makes the catch, and Jay will bluff at third. How about that throw from Carlos? Just for the fun of it.
Yeah. Well, you knew that Molina wasn't going to tag up and go to second. That's for sure. So if you're going to airmail one, that's the guy at first base to do it on. No chance they're going to score on that.
That's a big out for Peralta.
Able to get in on his hands just a little bit, and Wong underneath it.
That's smart by Jay. Draw a throw just in case he throws one away. You're never out of options in any play. There's always something you could do. And if you can draw a throw, maybe get a guy to throw it to the screen, you might be able to score. So here's Lance Lynn, squares early, pops it in the air. Lynn lays out, makes the catch.
How about that adjustment, huh?
Adam Lynn cuts the corner and makes a great play in foul territory.
Man, who said he had a bad back, right? That's a nice adjustment. He's coming in hard and then has to change directions very quickly to make the catch and dive. Well done. That is a tough transition to make. Our Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. Adam Lynn, nice play in foul ground.
2 outs. That gets Peralta a green light here. But a tough hitter coming up in Matt Carpenter. Carpenter is 1 out of 2. He singled and scored in the first. He flew out to left his last time up. This is a key at bat for Peralta. Trying to get Carpenter here in the 4th inning. Start an inning with 3 consecutive hits and only give up 1 run. You've done something. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carpenter as a leadoff hitter has been one of the most productive run producers over the last couple of seasons. Going back to the 13th season when Carpenter essentially took over as a leadoff hitter. He has more RBIs than any other of the regular leadoff men in big league baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air, deep right center. Braun is on the run, and it is 1 hopped off the fence. In to score, Jay Molina will be held around third. And Matt Carpenter strikes again.
Yeah, he's something else, isn't he? Everything to left. Monday, everything to left. Base hit up the middle, and he pulls one over the head of Braun. He hammered that baseball. That's out in a lot of ballparks. A slider that stayed up, middle in, and Matt Carpenter, look at that swing. Just stays right on balance and drives it over Braun's head into right field. Good thing that Yadier Molina is at first base, so that would have been another run.
It's an RBI double with 2 outs. 4-1 St. Louis. And now 2nd and 3rd for Jason Hayward. First 2-out hit of the night for St. Louis. And it produces a run. RBIs from Holiday, Molina, and now Carpenter. Cards got 2 in the first, 2 more here in the 4th. And Peralta trying to limit the damage from here on out as Hayward swings at the first pitch. Got to hustle it over there. Jeanette to Lind in time to retire the side. Well, guess it could have been a whole lot worse. Could have been better. Cardinals get 2, and the Brewers have some work to do.
That's Friday the 24th of April through Sunday the 26th. To reserve your spot, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com today.
A home-and-home matchup with the Cardinals in the month of April, as the Brewers see all of the division through the month of April. Takes us into first week of May, that series against the Cubs. 22 consecutive games against the NL Central. Well, Lance Lynn now has a 4-1 lead to work with, facing Lucroy, Braun, and Adam Lind to start it. Cardinals have out-hit the Brewers 8-6. A lot of activity on the base pads. Brewers have stranded 6 already, as Lucroy takes a strike. Jonathan singled in the first. He walked and scored in the third. Scored on an Aramis Ramirez 2-out RBI single.
Boy, that out that Willie was able to get on Hayward, that was a huge out. The base hit there, and the Brewers are in deep trouble. So he was able to get that out early in the count. A weak ground ball to second. Well, Brewers only down by 3.
Hayward swung at the first pitch. That ball is hit high in the air to right. Routine for Hayward. And Lucroy is retired for the first time tonight. One away for Lance Lynn here in the 5th. Now Ryan Braun is in our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. They didn't give it to him originally. Had to go to replay review to overturn it. But this catch robbing Matt Holliday of extra base hits. Originally called a trap by the first base umpire John Hirschbeck. They went to a 1-minute 6-second review and they overturned it. The right call was made. Braun had a single his last time up. He's hit the ball hard twice. He lined out in the first, pulled that one over to third base, and then he drove one into right field in the 3rd inning. Braun playing in just his 7th game. His 6th start, missed 2 starts after injuring his right side on opening day. Had to come out of that game.
And doing a much better job early in the season handling that fastball inside. That was a trouble pitch for him last year.
Coming back in there, and Braun fights it off foul. Lynn went right back to it. That one ate him up.
Not many hitters handle that fastball in on him like you would think. I mean, good hitters are very good on the outer half of the plate. Pitchers try to get them out inside. The problem is for pitching, it's very difficult to be consistent on that corner. You leave a lot of pitches out over the plate.
He was right on that one. He fouls it back.
The old adage in baseball, you pitch bad hitters away and good hitters in, because good hitters are always looking to drive the ball up the middle or to the opposite field.
And the follow-up from every pitching coach, you better make sure you get it in on a good hitter.
Right, exactly.
They'll do damage.
Right.
1-2 pitch. Braun lays off. Good take.
It is one of the most difficult things for particularly young pitchers to learn, is how to pitch inside. Tendency is you leave pitches out over the plate, hitters hit them pretty well, and if you miss too far inside, you hit them better. Fine line when you're pitching inside.
Here's a 2-2. Missed inside. Well, that pitch count is skyrocketing for Lance Lynn here. 93 pitches already. We're in the 5th inning.
And he's leading. Willie's pitch count's in great shape, and he's behind. Go figure.
Payoff coming. Braun pops it up a mile high. Foul territory. Adams just shy of the tarp for the 2nd out. 2 up, 2 down. Lucroy and Braun retired. And that'll bring up Adam Lind. Lind is 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeout victim his last time up.
Yeah, Lance Lynn at 94 pitches, Willie Peralta in the 40s. I mean, he has been very efficient, almost too efficient, throwing maybe too many strikes early in the count.
Well, the good news for the Brewers, they know it's going to be a short night for Lance Lynn. He's got maybe one more in him, especially this early in the season. Matheny's not going to risk running him out there for 115, 120 pitches at this point. Got a chance to chase him in this inning if you can get something going with 2 outs here. Already activity in the bullpen.
And Kevin Segrist getting loose.
(2-0) to Lynn. A little late. 2-1. Adams been on base in every game he's played for the Brewers this season. Coming to Milwaukee from Toronto. That didn't miss by much. Lynn wanted that one. Now it's 3-1. Marco Estrada was on the other end of that trade. Marco is pitching out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays to start the season after being a starter for Milwaukee last year. Up the middle, right there is the shortstop Peralta, and that is the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for Lance Lynn. 4-1 St. Louis. Head to the bottom of the 5th. Willie Peralta back to work, trying to keep the Cardinals at 4. Brewers fans finding their way among the sea of red. Our Carsoup.com trivia today, besides pitcher and catcher, the only other position Jackie Robinson never played in his career. On Jackie Robinson Day, he never played center field. That surprises me.
Wouldn't have guessed.
I bet he would have been a great center fielder. Probably would have been a great catcher and a pitcher,
He
too.
was a track star, right?
Yes, he was.
In college?
UCLA, absolutely. F4 star. His most common position was second base. And then he played more games at third than first. I'm not sure most people realize that. I didn't before I saw that stat. I thought second base and first base were the two.
Played a lot of left field, too.
Yep. Well, Jackie Robinson Day, everybody wearing number 42. Brewers find themselves trailing 4-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Matt Holliday starts it. Well, while Peralta has been efficient, he has given up 8 hits and 4 runs. Holliday drove in 2 with a single in the first. swinging 3-0.
Yeah, why not, right?
So Peralta tonight, Rock, has had 3 pitchers or fewer to 18 of the 21 batters. So only 3 batters has he gone more than 3 pitches. This is the 3rd.
And it's very unusual for a Cardinal offense to do that. They're normally a group that's going to go up there and work the count.
And Holiday works it here to start the 5th inning, a leadoff walk.
But that wasn't working against Willie Peralta last year, so I guess the Cardinals are figuring, let's try something new, and so far it's been working. 8 hits in the first 4+ innings.
Peralta coming off a 16-pitch inning last inning. That is the most that he has thrown in an inning, but it was to 7 different hitters. Cardinals scored 2 runs on 4 hits last inning. Adams hacking at the first offering, fouls it away. Number of games have gone final today. Jackie Robinson Day, some afternoon Wednesday baseball. There's a ground ball through, a base hit. Well, the hits keep coming for St. Louis. Man, they have had base runners everywhere tonight. 2 on, nobody out here in the 5th.
And just about every one of their hits have been singles. They've hit a couple of doubles. Hayward in the 1st and Carpenter in the 4th. Another ground ball through the infield and a base hit. So really keeping the ball down for the most part. Ground balls finding their way into the outfield.
Yep, they are finding holes. Pretty good pitch by Peralta. Usually you're not asking a hitter to pull that pitch.
Well, yeah, he's getting his ground balls, unfortunately not at a Brewer player. That could have very easily have been a double play ball.
They're hitting him where they ain't, Rob.
Right, exactly.
Now here is Johnny Peralta. Fouls the first one away. Well, you got 5 finals in today in the big leagues. The Indians beat the White Sox. Those 2 teams are 3-5. Young Trevor Bauer's off to a good start. He is 2-0 this year. He's won both of his starts. Marlins cooled off the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta now 6-3. Started the year 5-0. Nationals are getting back to winning ways. They defeated the Red Sox at Fenway today. 10-5 was the final there. Gio Gonzalez picked up the win.
Yeah, jumping all over Wade Miley today.
Angels had an afternoon game in Arlington against the Rangers. Angels won 10-5, or rather 10-2. I beg your pardon. Both of those teams are under 500 to start the year. And the Mets beat the Phillies 6-1. Mets are out to a 6-3 start. John Neese got the win today. Mets have very good pitching.
Yeah, David Wright went on the DL. Hamstring.
Big loss for him. He's had hamstring problems in the past.
Yeah.
Everybody's in action today on Jackie Robinson Day today. And the civil rights game is in Los Angeles between the Mariners and the Dodgers. A swing and a miss. Peralta chases a heavy sinker. And a strikeout for Peralta.
Yeah, his first strikeout. First walk in this inning. First strikeout for Willie. He only had 2 in his first start against Colorado. Check this out. Look at the movement going down and in on Peralta on that pitch.
That's the same pitch he threw Matt Adams.
Yeah.
Same location, same fastball. This time he strikes out Johnny Peralta, no relation. Here's John Jay now. Strike 1. In the division, the Pirates are hosting Detroit again, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead in the 9th inning. They're going to the bottom of the 9th there in Pittsburgh. Tigers won yesterday. They're 7-1. Reds are in Chicago tonight. Cubs are up 5-0 on Cincinnati. That game's in the 7th inning at Wrigley. And the other two in the division right here in St. Louis. Brewers, Cardinals, 4-1 Redbirds here in the 5th.
How about the Royals start this year?
Kansas City is 7-0. There's a liner to left. Parra's got it. Little snap throw to second is off the mark. John Jay hit one right on the nose, but right at Gerardo Parra.
Hey, head to Miller Park on Sunday, April 26th to get your hands on the Willie Peralta bobblehead. The crew takes on these Cardinals, and all fans will get a Willie Peralta bobblehead courtesy of U.S. Cellular. For tickets, visit Brewers.com.
You know what's great about that bobblehead? You see the eyes. Like, he looks pretty intimidating there with the glove over his mouth. But it is a perfect rendition of Willie Peralta because behind that glove is a big smile. So he kind of looks intimidating, but other than the days he pitches, he's a pretty happy-go-lucky guy.
He is, isn't he?
Always smiling, always laughing.
Why wouldn't you, right?
He's a stand-up comic's best friend. He laughs at everything, even stuff that's not funny. It's good for your confidence.
I just laughed.
I know, because I said a lot of things that aren't funny like that.
Yeah, I
now you're
for you.
patronizing me.
No, I'm chuckling for you. I want to make you feel bad.
Yadier Molina with 2 on. On the ground, Segura can't play it. Ate him up. He had one shot at it. He might have a chance to get Molina, who doesn't run well, but had to come up with it cleanly.
I think his only shot would have been to third base. The way he was running away from first and into the hole between short and third, I think he was thinking about going to third base. But it'll be a base hit. And yet another ground ball that finds a hole for the Cardinals. They've had a lot of them tonight.
They have 10 hits already. We're in the 5th inning. 10 hits and a walk tonight offensively for the Cardinals. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. And this could be the ball game right here. Brewers in striking distance right now, but they're down 4-1, and it's all going right for the Cardinals so far.
Well, Willie was able to get out of this kind of a jam in the 4th with a ground ball from Hayward. He needs one here from Colton Wong. Base hit here, and it's going to be an uphill struggle for Milwaukee.
Wong is 0 for 2. 2 men are out in the inning. Colton Wong is the only Cardinal that has not reached base tonight. And that's saying something. The fact that we're only in the 5th. Peralta is grinding. Only 3 batters he has faced. He has thrown more than 3 pitches. The third one was Holiday's walk to start this inning. Nowhere to put him. Like most left-handed hitters, Wong is a deadly low ball hitter.
And he's very dangerous in these counts. I mean, he can take you deep. He's got some power, particularly when he's got the count in his favor.
This is a big pitch. 2-0. Oh, right at the bottom of the zone for a strike. I'm betting Wong wants that one back. That's his wheelhouse.
A little bit more out over the plate. I think he hacks at it. Pretty good pitch on the inner half of the plate.
Three and 1 now. Neil Cott's in the Brewers bullpen. Peralta trying to get this game to the 6th inning. Still 4-1. Wong swings, drives one right center. That'll be playable. Gomez is over. And the side is retired. The Brewers dodge a Cardinal bullet in the 5th. Willie leaves them loaded. Still 4-1 St. Louis.
Brewers baseball is brought to you by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Cardinals top the Brewers right now as we go to the top of the 6th inning. 4-1 is our score. Brewers Community Foundation harnesses the pride, passion, and commitment of our fans, players, and other supporters to positively impact the community. Our collective efforts support nonprofits that are making a critical difference in our community. Thanks for being part of the team. Here on Jackie Robinson Day, Chris Davis is not starting, at least for the Brewers in this game, but I had a chance to catch up with him before the game talking about Jackie Robinson, and he put it in a very nice way. Everything that Jackie Robinson has done on and off the field, he said he's forever grateful that he has brought society together. It's a beautiful thing. I like that quote. I hope Chris gets to play here in this game before it's over.
Yeah, and he wants to play, and I thought it was interesting that Ron Renicky, knowing that the matchups they had planned on starting Gerardo Parra today against Lance Lynn, just because of the matchup numbers, but then realized it fell on Jackie Robinson Day and how important the day is for all players, but especially a guy like Chris Davis. And he did a classy thing, and he talked to Davis about it. He asked him, gave him the stats, gave him all the information. Chris said, "Do what's best for the team, Skip."
Yeah, you like that answer.
Cardinals have a new pitcher, and Aramis Ramirez flies out to start the inning. So one away. Lance Lynn is done after 5 innings. Kevin Segrist, who we saw warming in the bullpen last inning, is on the pitch.
Yeah, he is a guy that comes in the middle of an inning. He's stranded 4 inherited base runners so far. 4th appearance, and you can see the strikeouts. 3 punch-outs and an inning and 2/3. One of 2 left-handers down in that Cardinals bullpen. Randy Choate the other.
Now this is go time for the Brewers here. They're going to need to do some damage as they chase Lynn early, but Lynn leaves with a 4-1 lead. The Cardinals are vulnerable anywhere. It is in the middle of their bullpen, their middle innings. They're pretty well socked away in the late innings with Rosenthal and company, but Gerardo Parra, a wave and a miss. I thought Renicky might pinch hit Davis here against the left-hander.
That may be just a little bit too early to be burning your bench up just yet.
Now the Cardinals have 2 lefties in their pen. Randy Choate is the other. He's their late left-hander. And down goes Parra. He thought that was outside. So Parra strikes out, and Segrist with 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, you don't see Gerardo Parra argue a whole lot. Let's see where this pitch is. Well, that's pretty close. It looked like just barely off the plate according to Fox Tracks, but a little bit too close to take with 2 strikes.
2 gone for Gene Segura. Segura had a hit, an infield single in the 2nd. Hector Gomez has a bat. Might see him hit next as Segura lines one to right, a base hit. So Gene Segura keeps the inning alive, his 2nd hit.
Well, how many times did you see Gene do that last year? Drive a ball to the opposite field. Not too many. Well, that's just a nice piece of hitting. Watch the way he stays back. He waits back, doesn't drift, and just shoots that ball in the right field. That's a nice swing. There's a good look at it right there. All the weight equally distributed, not out on the front foot like he did just about all season last year.
Now Renicky will make a move here. Scooter Gennett, who's had a tough time with lefties, will be pulled back. Hector Gomez will pinch hit. And that's going to bring a visit from the Cardinal pitching coach, Eric Lilliquist. A little scouting report here on Gomez.
Gomez with 3 hits, all doubles.
Yeah, those came in back-to-back starts over the weekend in Milwaukee.
Yeah, you got a right-hander getting loose down in that Cardinals bullpen. It looks like they're going to stick with Segras with 2 outs.
Well, if Gomez can reach, Chris Davis would then hit for Peralta. Well, you'd love to give him a chance to swing the bat with some men on base. Brewers down 4-1. We're in the 6th inning. Cardinals are deep into their bullpen already with a short start by Lance Lynn. Segras is the first one out.
Was it Mike Matheny used 5 pitchers in 1 inning already this year?
Yeah, it was actually 6
6 pitchers?
Well, it was 6 against 6 different hitters.
Okay.
I think it came across 2 innings, but you get the idea. That
yeah, not afraid to use them.
He's not at all. He knows this is crucial here for his left-hander. Going to let it ride. Fascinating watching managers work when you have games like this. You see a lot more of them in April and toward the end of the season in a pennant race because the games mean so much. But, you know, one move leads to the next, and trying to get through a certain inning. Segras is not a matchup pitcher. He does pitch complete innings for the Cardinals, but it's a bit of a gamble here. Broken bat. Carpenter bobbles, recovers, and the throw is wide. And the normally sure-handed Matt Carpenter opens the door for Milwaukee here.
Yeah, let's see if Mike Matheny goes to the right-hander down in the bullpen. Here comes Chris Davis. And Hector Gomez is able to put the ball in play, put the pressure on the Cardinals defense, which continues to be a little bit subpar this year.
So an error on Carpenter, and Matheny's on his way out.
Yeah, that's a ball that Carpenter usually can make it play in his sleep, but I think a good throw. It might have been close, but he pulls Adams off the bag.
And now the Brewers force the hand of Matheny. Carpenter burning with that error. Matheny's got to go to the bullpen. Right-hander coming in to face Chris Davis, the announced pinch hitter. We'll take a timeout. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Well, a big spot right here for the Brew Crew. There are 2 outs in the inning, but the Brewers have put 2 on with 2 outs, and now Renicky is going to call on Chris Davis to face the new Reds hurler Seth Maness.
Yeah, Maness, one bad outing. The reason for that 675 earned run average. We saw him on Monday, opening day here at Busch Stadium. Pitched 2/3 scoreless baseball, including a strikeout.
And a big swing by Davis. Coming off the bench. Pinch hitting for the pitcher Peralta. Maness is tough. He led the Cardinals in appearances last year and led the National League in inherited runners last year. Matheny was very confident in this pitcher with men on base.
Got a good sinker. He'll throw a slider. And he can get some ground ball outs. Chris Davis needs to get one up in the strike zone here.
Pitching in his 5th consecutive game, although there was a day off yesterday. We saw him in the opener Monday. 1-2 on Davis.
He'd like to have that one back. That was a hanger.
Cool, breezy night in St. Louis. Ball's not traveling well from center field to right field. 2 on, 2 out. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and down Davis goes. Maness comes in to strike him out. Fooled him with a fastball. Brewers still trail 4-1.
Tonight's Tavern of the Game winner, Bev's Saddle Mound Tap in Pittsville. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Hector Gomez will remain in the game to play second base after reaching on an error in the 6th inning. And the new pitcher rock is Neil Kotz.
Now off to a good start after having a rough time in spring training, but the veteran's able to correct himself and put together 3 pretty good outings. He has given up a home run this year. That came against the Rockies. 4th appearance and a 270 earned run average after spending all of last year with the Texas Rangers.
And the Cardinals will counter with a pinch hitter. Randall Grichuk off the bench. We saw him Monday. Came up at a big spot Monday and hit a little tapper back to the mound. That was against Jeremy Jeffress. Swings at the first pitch. Skies one out to Braun. And Kotz, 1 pitch, 1 out here in the Cardinals, 6th inning.
They're not messing around tonight, are they?
My kind of hack fest going on.
Well, you don't see this from the Cardinals all that often. I mean, I can understand it was just with Willie out there, but I guess, Gritchen coming off the bench, pinch hitters like to attack early, don't like to take too many.
He swung at the first pitch the other night as well on that little ground out. Well, Brewers had a great chance last inning, even though there were 2 outs. Carpenter had committed the error to extend the inning. If nothing else, it forces Matheny's hand a little. He was trying to get through that inning with Segrist because he had to pinch hit for his pitcher. So you burn Segrist and Manus.
Yeah, but the Brewers fortunate the 4th and 5th innings. The Cardinals with an opportunity to put the knockout punch on the Brew Crew. Not able to do it with 2 outs.
Carpenter did have a big hit in the 4th for the Cardinals. An RBI double with 2 away. That was the 4th run. And down he goes. Kotz strikes out Matt Carpenter. 2 up, 2 down for Neil Kotz. Hey, a reminder that Saturday MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns. Back-to-back AL East showdowns. You got the O's and the Red Sox, followed by the Yankees and the Rays. Coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Central on America's Home for Baseball every Saturday, Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Two quick outs. Hayward coming up, swinging away at the first pitch. I tell you, this game will humble you so fast.
It does, doesn't it?
Think about how good Matt Carpenter's going until the last 15 minutes. He's having a great night, great series.
Made an error and struck out, right?
Made an error and got called out on strikes. Just when you start to want to think you're on top of it.
Comes after you pitch by pitch, day by day. You can never feel like you haven't figured out. You never do. The baseball gods will get you.
Because there is just so much failure in the sport, I think it's safe to say that baseball players, especially professional baseball players, have to be the most mentally disciplined professional athletes.
Mentally tough, short memories. You can't drag your previous at-bat up with you the next time up. You learn from your mistakes, but you don't dwell on them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Two and two. Hayward lines one, caught by Segura. Finally, one ends up in the glove. Hayward hit it right on the nose, but right at the Brewers shortstop. And a tidy 3-up, 3-down inning for Neil Kotz. Well, we'll see if that'll get the Brewers going a little bit. Excellent play by the Brewers shortstop. We head to the 7th. Brewers down 4-1. St. Louis up 4-1 over the Brew Crew as we head to the 7th now at Busch. Carlos Gomez ready to lead the way in the 7th. The last home run for Milwaukee came off the bat of Gomez, and it was a no-doubter. Powerball home run number 1 for Carlos. 420-foot blast into the bleachers and left. New pitcher rock is Matt Belisle, the former Rocky, appearing in his 2nd game as a Cardinal in this series.
Yep, former Rocky, former Red. He finished Monday's game for the Cardinals, a scoreless 9th inning. 4th appearance already.
Now the Brewers need to string some hits together. Milwaukee has 7 hits tonight through the first 6 innings, but only 1 run. They've left 8 men on base. Cardinals have left 7.
The Cardinals have let the Brewers hang around in this game. I mean, it could be a lot worse, just like it could have been a lot worse for the Brewers on Monday. Left a bunch of guys stranded, and a couple of base runners and a long ball were tied up.
Slow roller out to Wong, and he takes care of Gomez for the first out. That'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy tonight has had a good night. He's only been retired once, as you see Lucroy at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Single. He walked and scored in the 3rd, and then he flew out to right. Seth Maness, the 3rd pitcher used, Belisle number 4 out of the Cardinal pen. And Matheny has Belisle on the mound with much activity down there. Randy Choate, Jordan Walden, the former Brave.
Now trying to get to Trevor Rosenthal in the 9th. Use them all if he has to. He's done it before.
Matheny's got a pretty quick trigger. Probably take a couple of base runners here to have him go back to the bullpen, but that's what the Brewers are trying to do. Just keep forcing the Cardinal manager's hand. Maness came on, got a big strikeout of a power hitter in Chris Davis. That was huge for St. Louis. Brewers are entering the big part of their order now. This is where you hope to do some damage. Got Lucroy at the plate, Braun to follow, Adam Lind in the hold. If the inning continues, it would be Ramirez toward the hole, and that's through, a base hit. So on a 1-2 pitch, Lucroy with a single to left.
Man, Luke's starting to heat up a little bit, starting to find some holes. He's always going to make good contact. One of the toughest guys to strike out last year. And it looked like a breaking pitch. It didn't do a whole lot right there. And Luke were able to just get it out of the reach of Peralta and into left field.
So that will give Braun a swing with a man on. Puts Belisle a little bit on the ropes. Both relievers still throwing in the Cardinal pen, both ready to come in. Yeah, Braun mad at himself after that swing.
Yeah, he's talking to himself a little bit tonight. He's had a couple of pitches to drive in the right center. And Braun typically likes that pitch away from him a little bit, middle away, and those are the ones he just rattles off of that right center field fence.
He's still looking for his first home run of the season. Hit the ball hard twice tonight. A single and a line out. He popped up in foul territory his last time up. The 0-1 from Belisle. A little late on that one as well. Could see him the mouth get down, get it down. That's Jeffress on the near shot there, and Michael Blazek.
I think if the Brewers put a run or two on the board, you're going to see Jeffress. If not, it'll be Blazek.
No balls, 2 strikes. 1 gone in the 7th. And Yadier Molina's on his way out to have a chat with Belisle.
Yeah, probably telling him, I don't think Jonathan Lucroy is going anywhere. Down by 3 runs with Ryan Braun at the plate. You got an 0-2 pitch. Let's concentrate on the hitter.
Ready for an 0-2. He missed inside. Belisle has always had a great cut fastball. That's kind of been his signature pitch.
I think that was the pitch that he left in on Lucroy for the base hit.
A very hittable pitch when it's not buried down and away. Braun rolls over one, grounded to Carpenter all the way across the diamond and out at first. Adams just kept a toe on the bag. So the second out. Lucroy does advance to second base, and Matheny's going to make a change here. Cardinal skipper coming out with Adam Lind coming up. He is a big believer in matchup baseball, and Lind is going to face his last left-hander in Randy Choate. So another pitching change. 2 outs, runner at second, and we'll set up Choate when we continue after this. Playing matchup here the rest of the way. His starter Lance Lynn went just 5 innings, and now it's going to be Randy Choate on to face Adam Lind. 2 outs, Lucroy at second.
Well, on Monday, Choate retired Adam Lind on a ground ball to first base, his 4th appearance. The veteran left-hander, you can see his numbers a little bit shaky in the early going.
Brewers need to cash one in. They've left 8 on. 8 hits, but only 1 run. There's Lind, a wave and a miss. Slow breaking ball from Choate. Lind is 0 for 3 tonight. He hasn't had many 0-fers to start the year. He's reached base in every game this season. And he snuck a fastball by him. 0-2 now. Figures to be Choate's only hitter. with Ramirez due up next. Matheny has a pitcher ready in the bullpen behind Choate. 0-2 count, and Lynn doesn't bite. That run through the bullpen started with Segrist and then Manus. Those two got out of the 6th inning. Belisle and Choate here. That's Jordan Walden ready in the pen.
Yeah, if he brings him in, he's only got 2 left. Villanueva, Carlos Villanueva, and his closer.
Lind on the ground. Adams flips it to Choate, and that will retire the side. So the matchup all works. Matheny manages the Cardinals through 7 with the lead.
A 4-1 lead, and Michael Blazek is on. And Blazek, the long reliever, spot starter for the Brewers, making his 3rd appearance. Pretty good numbers so far for Blazek, a .338 earned run average in his first 2 appearances.
So we head to the bottom of the 7th. Brewers have had some chances here tonight. 9 left on. Ton of relievers used by Matheny, and it has worked. Lance Lynn still in line for the win at this point, even though he pitched his 5 innings. Matt Holliday set to lead off for St. Louis.
Yeah, Blazek, a former Cardinal. He came over to the Brewers in a John Axford trade.
Blazek, during spring training, was stretched out to possibly be in a starting role, at least in a role of depth in the starting rotation. But as you start getting into the season now and you get into week 2 and week 3, you can't really ask him to go 5-6 innings anymore.
No.
Tyler Thornburg's in the same boat. So if in fact they want Thornburg or Blazek to continue on that path as a potential starter, they might send those guys down to AAA just to try to get them some starts, maybe 3 or 4 starts, build them back up.
Yeah, but it's always important early in the season when your starting rotation is really not prepared to go real deep into games unless you have a pitch count situation like Willie had tonight. So you want to have those long relievers as the season goes on. You might not need that as much.
Now the Brewers are, after a day off yesterday, about to enter a long stretch without a day off, a team scheduled day off. As a matter of fact, the next scheduled day off for Milwaukee is May 14th. So they've got a good solid month of baseball without a day off on the schedule. No, I beg your pardon, the 30th. I didn't see that one. April 30th.
Yeah, you can't go 20 straight days.
Yeah, so there's one day off until May 14th, and that'll be after the Cincinnati series to end the month. So between Cincinnati and Chicago. So yeah, there's the stretch of games. 14 consecutive before the next day off. As Holiday beats one into the ground, Segura, and a good throw to retire Holiday for the first out.
And I think that's good in the beginning of the season. I mean, you don't really need a lot of days off in April. You talk to some of these players, these Brewers players, I think, they've had 2 days off already. They don't need them. They just as soon continue to play and, get that continuity and get into the flow of the year.
Yeah, those days off early in the schedule are built for weather to protect home openers and whatnot. And we show you that schedule because it has a major impact on how the roster is formed. And as Doug Melvin, who's here with the ball club this week, gets with Ron Renicky and the coaching staff, they start to formulate who's going to be needed where, and you start looking at the pitching staff. Are they able to go deep in games? So this is about the time of year that you start to see some changes in the roster. A lot of teams are carrying 13 pitchers, and you might trim that down a little bit as the starters continue to go.
Well, especially you have a starting group, position players that pretty much play every single day. I mean, how many of the Cardinals are going to be in and out of the lineup? Not too many. Now the Brewers have a couple of positions where you might see a platoon develop. I mean, you might see one at second base. I mean, they're talking about maybe having somebody go over to first base from time to time. In that case, you might not be able to carry 13 pitchers. You need that extra position player.
Here's a 2-2, and Adams had a big cut, fouls it back. This game has been 4-1 since the fourth inning. Cardinals got 2 in the bottom of the fourth. Willie Peralta giving up all 4 runs here tonight, all of them earned on 10 hits. He went 5 innings. And down goes Adams. Good curveball from Blazek. Lucroy secures it at first. 2 quick outs for Michael Blazek against his old team. Well, our shining moment tonight, courtesy of Marshfield Clinic. Look at some of the defense tonight from the Brewers. Ryan Braun had a beautiful diving catch. And then how about this play by Adam Lind on a bunt attempt by Lance Lind. And then Segura on that hot shot from Jason Hayward. So good to see the Brewers tighten up the D a little bit. There is an error on the board. Segura has that error, which is his 3rd of the series. But
neither team played very well defensively on Monday, but much different here today. 1 error for each team, or both teams.
2 quick outs. Johnny Peralta at the plate. And that one's lofted to center field. Routine for Gomez. And a good, strong inning by Michael Blazek. 1, 2, 3. The Cardinals go in order. Brewers down 3. Aramis will lead off when we come back.
3-1 Cardinals as we head to the 8th inning. And just a reminder that through midnight tonight, you can get tickets to the Brewers' upcoming series against the Reds for just $4.14. To access this special deal, visit brewers.com/414 and enter the code MKE414 before midnight tonight, BA.
I'm going to get on that.
MKE414.
It all ties in.
And the tickets are $4.14. As Jordan Walden continues, I mean, a steady stream of relievers coming out of that Cardinals bullpen since the beginning of the 6th inning. And you see Walden's numbers very good. His 5th appearance so far this year. 6th pitcher used by Mike Matheny.
Now Matheny has it where he wants now. He had to use 4 pitchers to get him through the 6th and the 7th, but now his setup man, Walden, is into work. Aramis Ramirez starts it for the Brew Crew. And all 4 of those relievers for the Cardinals put up zeros. Segras, Manus, Belisle, and Choate. In the air, right center field. That is going to get down, and it'll go to the track as Aramis Ramirez bangs a double to lead off the 8th inning for the Brew Crew.
Yeah, his second base hit. Doing a good job. Walden throwing a fastball away from him and driving into the gap out in right center. Fastball away, just kind of serves it out there, just jumps off his bat. And it splits the seam between Jay and Hayward for a leadoff double. Good start to the inning for the Brewers.
Now Ramirez drove in a run in the 3rd. The lone tally on the board right now. Here is Gerardo Parra. Well, now Renicky has his left-hander Parra still in the game with the Cardinals using both of their lefties. That ball is hit high in the air to left. Holiday playing deep will make the catch for the out. Gave it a ride, but Holiday was there to make the play, and 1 gone here in the 8th. Ball's just not traveling well tonight on a cool night in St. Louis.
Yeah, you hate to make it out like that, on the first pitch. If anything else, you want to advance that base runner, get him to third base, peck away a little bit. You see Parr upset with himself. He realized not a good at bat for him.
Walden a little bit unorthodox in his delivery to the plate. He appears to be jumping at you.
I think that back foot actually comes off the pitching rubber and then comes back down when he throws the baseball. Not sure how you can be consistent in your delivery when you do that, but he is.
If you freeze the image just right, he actually pitches with both feet off the ground at one point. Former Angel, went from the Angels to the Braves, and then the Braves shipped him here with Jason Hayward in that deal for Shelby Miller.
That's the back foot.
Did he go? They will ask. He did not. John Hirschbeck says he checked his swing. Puts him in a 1-2 count. Walden still has another year on his contract that he had signed with Atlanta.
He gets it up there pretty good.
Yeah.
And 94 miles an hour in that last fastball. So the fact that he lifts that back foot off the ground does not affect his velocity.
That's a good work by the truck.
You wonder how hard he could throw if he had that solid foundation on the back leg.
Segura, a little weak grounder over to first, race to the bag, and Adams just beats Segura for the second out.
Yeah, a little panic setting in for Matt Adams, thinking he's got to beat him to the bag, wondering where the pitcher was. Big fella getting over there in time.
Now Ramirez does advance to third. Brewers are down 3. They need multiple hits. Here's Hector Gomez. He pinch hit for Jeanette in the 6th inning, and he reached on an error. And he pops this one up. Well, the Cardinal bullpen doing their job tonight, just mowing through the Brewers batting order. So Walden a scoreless 8, and it's 4-1 St. Louis. That's a great story, and we appreciate that, Jeff. Yep, Jackie Robinson Day today, and very real, and thank goodness it is a part of the past that we can remember and hopefully be better with, but certainly very real, and just a generation ago. Hard to believe.
Yep.
Come a long way, got a long way to go still.
Yeah, right. A short period of time, but you're right, a long way to go as far as that goes for sure. Good start, though.
Now Blazek is back to work here in the 8th inning and gets a called strike 3 on John Jay. Boy, he is pitching with a little extra oomph against his former club tonight.
Yeah, pitching with a little edge, maybe trying to prove something, and he's got good velocity. Always has had good velocity. And this one right on the inside corner with that comeback sinker. Lucroy setting up away. Missed his spot, but looked like right down the middle according to Fox Tracks. And Fox Tracks never lies.
Never lies. That technology was born in Wisconsin, by the way. That's why it's so trustworthy, Rock. Yadier Molina in a 2-0 count. Blazek retired the side in order in the 7th with a strikeout. Has not been a run across since the 4th, when the Cardinals scored twice to take a 4-1 lead. And now the Brewers are going to have to deal with Trevor Rosenthal, one of the game's best closers, as he gets loose. Got to give a lot of credit to St. Louis bullpen tonight. All of them. Molina hits it on the barrel, but on this night, that's a routine play for Gomez.
Good.
2 outs.
Thank you very much. Right there. Blazek with enough velocity to get that pitch in on Molina a little bit. Got under it on a 3-0 count.
So 2 gone now, and here is Colton Wong coming up, who is the only Cardinal to have not reached base. Only Cardinal position player. He's 0 for 3, and all 3 of his outs in the air. Well, it looks like the Bucks' first-round matchup is set, Rock. They're going to be playing the Chicago Bulls. So we wish the Bucks success. Nice little 94 rivalry right there. Hey, what a play by Blazek, showing some NBA hops. Well done, Michael Blazek. Goes up high to fetch that one and cuts down a speedy base runner. 1-2-3 inning. Blazek retires 6 consecutive with a couple of strikeouts. Maybe not NBA hops. You get the point. Last call for the Brew Crew. We head to the 9th inning. Milwaukee down 4-1 to St. Louis. Jackie Robinson Day all across Major League Baseball. And Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Well, Trevor Rosenthal, the outstanding Cardinal closer, is on to work. He has 2 saves already. This is a save situation. And he will face a pinch hitter to start it. That is Logan Schaefer. And then the Brewers go back to the top of the order, in desperate need of base runners here.
Yeah, got to get a couple of men on and somebody knock one out of here. But Rosenthal last year, his first year as the full-time closer, with 45 saves for St. Louis.
Cardinals scored 2 in the first on a Matt Holliday 2 RBI single. Brewers got 1 back in the 3rd inning when Ramirez drove in a run with a single. That was a 2-out hit by Ramirez. So after 3 innings of play, it was 2-1. And then the Cardinals in the bottom of the 4th, their first 3 hitters reached, and they scored 2 runs. RBIs from Molina and Carpenter, and that's where we sit here in the 9th. It's been that way since the 4th. 4-1 Redbirds. Cardinals have out hit the Brewers 10-9, and the Brewers have stranded 10 tonight. Rosenthal has had command problems, and he will walk Logan Schaefer to start the inning.
Man, there's a good start.
Last year, Rosenthal walked 42 in a little over 70 innings. That's his only Achilles heel in his arsenal. By the way, tomorrow we're on the air at noon Central Time. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Fires against Lackey. First pitch just after 12:45, I think. Somewhere about there.
You're right.
Like 12:45, 30. That's when they're hoping to get the first pitch up. Maybe 35. We'll be ready for them, though. Whatever.
You all right? Hey, Rosenthal, you talk about those walks, 42 walks in 7 1/3 innings, but he did strike out 87.
Yeah, that's the other part.
So he has the strikeouts to overcome the walks.
Last pitched against the Cincinnati Reds. Got a save in an inning. Walked 2, struck out 2 as Gomez fouls it away.
And getting men on base tonight has not been the issue for the Brewers. It's been driving them in. He's been able to put a man on base in every inning but the 5th.
12 base runners tonight for Milwaukee. As we play here in the 9th, that one missed inside. This count could easily be 3-0 here. Gomez helped him out on that last foul ball. Brewers down 3. Another base runner would bring the tying run to the plate. And Gomez chops one on the ground. Peralta to second for 1. Throw to first is not in time. And Gomez looks like he's hobbling a little bit. That's not good.
Certainly not hit hard enough to turn the double play. I think the Cardinals knew it. Peralta in no hurry to get that baseball over to second base, but about 3/4 of the way down, he started pulling up a little bit. That's not a good sign.
Not at all, and he's not even bothering to go to the bag. He's hurt. This looks like a hamstring problem for Gomez. The only reason I say that is because he was clutching at his hamstring, and then Mike Guerrero, the first base coach, was trying to help out the athletic trainer to let him know. And Gomez didn't even bother. He's walking off the field, and that is normally not a good sign. You hope it's just a cramp, but to see Gomez leave doesn't give you much confidence.
I don't think you're going to be able to see what it is that is bothering Carlos as he gets down that line trying to beat out that double play. But right about here, I mean, we kind of start pulling up a little bit and still able to beat it at first base, but not sure what it is. You hope it's nothing serious, but I don't know.
Stay with us for Brewers Live. Craig Kashawn, our reporter today, he's down there, and he'll have a report on our Brewers Live postgame. Not sure what the holdup is right here.
Looking for a pitcher to run. That's what it is. I mean, you're not going to waste a position player. There's only 2 left, Jimenez and Maldonado. So you throw Kyle Loesch out there.
So the Brewers,
and you hope he's stretched out.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And if he's not, he'll be smart enough to take his time around the base paths. So Loesch to pinch run, the former Cardinal. Here is Lucroy. And Rosenthal pours a strike in. Well, if the Brewers can somehow get this one to the bottom of the 9th, you just hit Logan Schaefer, so you're okay there. Davis has already been used, but at least Schaefer can go in and play in the outfield, essentially making a double switch.
Yeah, 2 left, Jimenez and Maldonado. And if you get it to the bottom of the 9th, the Cardinals are in bad shape in that bullpen. But first things first, you need to get 3 runs here.
Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lucroy. Ryan Braun would follow. Way inside, bounces out of Molina's glove, and Lucroy, or rather Loesch, will end up at second base on a wild pitch.
That might be a pass ball. I don't think there's such a thing here in St. Louis, is there?
Not with Molina catching, Rod. Shame on you.
Let's check it out. They're going to give him a wild pitch. Is this a wild pitch? What do you give him? I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if Molina can't catch it, it's a wild pitch.
That's the thinking. That's why he has that gold patch on his chest protector. Gold Glove Award winner, multiple. Now Loesch in scoring position. Lucroy sends one in the air to left, but he just got under it. And Holiday will make the catch. 2 gone. The Brewers down to their final out. He just missed it on the bat.
Yeah, just a little bit down on the handle, down on the trademark, and it's up to Ryan Braun.
Well, Braun trying to get Adam Lynn to the plate. And he's late on a fastball at 96. Rosenthal looking for his 3rd save already. The Brewers have had only 1 save opportunity. That was Monday, and K-Rod did pick up the save in that game. Jason Grilli of the Atlanta Braves has 4 saves already.
Yeah.
The former Pirate.
K-Rod 3 up, 3 down on Monday.
Look out. 1 and 2 on Braun. Well, if the Brewers don't get going here now, this is going to be a rough night on a couple of measures. I think there is a lot of anxiety right now about Carlos Gomez. 1-2 pitch. Braun spoils it foul. 97 with the fastball from Rosenthal.
Yeah, nothing wrong with his velocity. He can hump it up. He's got a change up to go with it. Not sure you're going to see one here, though.
And Braun to right. That's down, a base hit. Loesch will round 3rd and come on in to score as Ryan Braun down to the last strike gives the Brewers a chance here with 2 outs.
Yeah, you know, when you're throwing that hard 97, you get it down in the strike zone, out over the plate. Those are the ones that you can get a bat on. And Ronnie's been missing this pitch all night. Finally, against Rosenthal, he's able to slice one down that right field line. That pitch was actually middle in, but it was down, allowing Braun to get the bat on it. And Kyle Loesch able to score run number 2. So the tying run comes to the plate from Milwaukee.
So Adam Lynn, chance to tie it with a long ball here. And a fastball misses. 4-2 St. Louis. Each club with 10 hits now. Brewers score for the first time since the 3rd inning. Braun's got a big lead at first. He takes off and Lynn swings and fouls it away. Ball and a strike.
They're not going to hold you on. Just take it. Eliminate that force at second.
I think Matt Adams was a little upset that Rosenthal didn't see him sneak in behind Braun. They had a sure out had he spotted him. There he goes, and Lynn swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Again, the Brewers
foul ball
down to their final strike. Braun has to go back. Well, Braun's hit came with 2 strikes. Two and 2. Lynn reaches out into center field, playable. And Jay puts it away, and the Brewers come up short tonight. Cardinals win 4-2. Brewers get a 9th inning run off Rosenthal, but he collects his 3rd save. And more pressing for Milwaukee is the condition of Carlos Gomez, who left with an apparent leg injury in this 9th inning. So this series all even at a game apiece. the Brewers drop to 2-6 on the season. Time for Brewers Live. We send it over to Jeff Grayson in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio. Jeff, take it away.